Good morning and welcome to Monday. It's Iain from RTO. Hope you all had a great weekend. I had a busy weekend and good news from the album covers. I restuck them all on Saturday morning and guess what? They haven't come down. But knowing my luck, they'll fall down while we're doing this. Just excuse me. It's first thing in the morning and I need my caffeine. Right, start of a new week then. So what we're going to start off this week is with the band Ultravox. Now, I've liked Ultravox for quite a long time. Long before Midge joined. When John Fox was in the band. They were formed around about 1974 and the band was John Fox, Billy Currie, Warren Cann, and I think Ray. So let's have a look. Remember his name. Oh, I can't even find it now. Oh, till it's Monday morning. Oh dear. Brain's dead. No, here we go. Yeah, Chris Cross on bass, John Fox lead vocals, Stevie Shears, that's it. So yeah, they released 11 albums. It's quite a lot. Obviously it's a mixed bunch. They sort of disbanded in what was it, 86, 87, reformed in 92, but only Billy Currie was left in the band at the time, and then the classic lineup rejoined up together and did some reunion shows, and they produced a great live album and not a bad studio album. But by 2013, they did a tour with Simple Minds, and these proved to be the last ones, as in 2017 both Billy Currie and Midge indicated that Ultravox had run its course, which is quite bold to say, but they were a great band. For me, not, you know, that's one of my favourite non-rock bands. So let's have a look at these albums. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 11 is the 9th album that came out in 1993. It's called Revelation. Now this band only had Billy Currie from the classic lineup, Tony Fennell on guitars, Jerry Laffey guitars, Neil Wilkinson was drums, Jackie Williams backing vocals, and Richard Knowles conducted the strings, and who else sang? Tony Fennell sang. Now this album, it's not what I call proper Ultravox. If you look at it as another just a band, it's not too bad, but because it's come under the name Ultravox, it doesn't hold up to what they were. So first track on the album is called I'm Alive. It's not a bad track actually, it's listenable. Then we get Revelation, the title track. It's got that Ultravox sound. I mean, obviously with Billy Currie you're going to get that distinctive sound, but the vocal is just lacklustre to me. It's not brilliant. Systems of Love, this is awful. It just cringes when you listen to it. You just want to flick it onto the next one. Then we get a track called Perfectly the Art of Common Ground. This is actually good. It goes back to them days when of the classic sound of Ultravox. I don't mind listening to that one. It's like the next track, The Great Outdoors. This is the best track on the album, and it does hanker back to the good old days. And then unfortunately we go downhill from there. The Closer I Get to You, nah, it just doesn't sound right. No Turning Back, a load of old crap. True Believer, again, it's just early 90s crap. Ununified, not bad. And the last track though, it's not too bad, The New Frontier. So on the whole, it's a bit of a hit and miss album. There's a couple of bits on there that are listenable, but most of the album is pretty naff. So it gets an RTO ranking of 2 out of 10, I'm afraid. It's not the not the best album. I mean, I hadn't brought this album, so I listened to it on Spotify, and I'm glad I haven't got it, to be quite honest. Just like coming in at number 10 is the 10th album, released in 1994, called Ingenuity. Again, I hadn't got this, so I had to listen to it on Spotify. Again, I'm glad I never brought it. Had a change up in the lineup from the previous album. We've got Sam Blue on lead vocals, Vinnie Burns playing guitar, Billy Currie on the keyboards as usual and viola, Tony Holmes on the drums, and Gary Williams on the bass. First track on the album's the title track, Ingenuity. It's not too bad actually. It's one of the better tracks without Mid-Ure. There Goes a Beautiful World. Yeah, it's crap. There Goes an Awful Song should be called. It's awful. Give It Back. Nice track, got some good guitar in that. Reasonably alright. Future Picture Forever. It's reasonable. It's got some nice little bits of keyboard from Billy Currie. But apart from that, it's just a bit mediocre. The Silent Cries. This sounds more like classic and Ultravox. Now Sam Blue actually does sound a little bit like Mid-Ure, so this album is a lot better than Revelation, because it does actually sound more like an Ultravox album than the other one. Distance is okay, it's reasonable. Then we get Ideals. This is quite rocky for Ultravox. I actually like that track, and I'd say it's the best one out of these two albums combined. It is a really good track. Then Who Will Save You? Again, it's okay. A Way Out, okay. Majestic though is also pretty good. Out of these two albums, I do prefer this one. It's got some better tracks. I think if they'd have made another one, they may have just started to get back to something good, but something else happened. So it gets an RTO ranking of 4 out of 10. Okay, now we're moving back. We're moving into the classic era of Ultravox. So coming in at number 9 is their 8th studio album. It was the band's 5th album during the Mid-Ure era, and the final one featuring this lineup. Released on the 9th of October 1986. So it was released on my birthday. There's some good tracks on this. So you've got the classic lineup of Chris Cross, Billy Currie, Mid-Ure. Warren Cann doesn't drum on this, but Mark Brzezinski of Big Country does, so it's near enough a classic lineup. First track, Same Old Story. Oh, this is too 80s pop, even for me. I mean, Ultravox are like a poppy new wave sort of band, but that goes too far, that track. Sweet Surrender. This is an excellent track. Got some great work on the guitar from Midge. Terrific. Dream On. This is a great track. It's It's proper Ultravox. I really like that one. The Prize, a good rocky sort of track. One of their quite heavy ones for them. Really good track. All Fall Down, right. This is absolute dirge. Unfortunately, it's got uranium pipes in it that just don't fit in the track. It's supposed to be like a bit Celtic-y, but it just doesn't fit. Time to Kill, solid as you like. Solid Ultravox track. Moon Madness. It's okay, but the sax in it is just wrong. It doesn't fit. It doesn't go with the song. No. Ruins it. Follow Your Heart. This ain't too bad either. And All in the Day is just a load of old dribble. It just doesn't do nothing for nobody. I think it was just bunged on the album at the end because it is that bad. But there's some good songs on this. And I have got this album, and I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Really good album. Okay, tell you it's first thing in the morning. I need my coffee. That's better. Right, coming in at number 8 is the 11th and final album by Ultravox, released 25th of May 2012. First time in 28 years that classic lineup of Ultravox, which was Midge Ure, Billy Currie, Warren Cannon, Chris Cross, performed. Now, I hadn't got this album, so I listened to it on Spotify, and it's now on my iPod. It's a really good album. I was quite surprised, actually. First track, Live. Great track. Very classic sounding Ultravox. Really good. Flow is the next track. Now this, the way I can describe this, it's a very 80s song, but what they've done, they've brought it up to 21st century standards. It's really good. It's a bit poppy, but the production on it is really good. Absolutely brilliant. Talking of brilliant, the next track is brilliant. So the title track, get your words out. Great Ultravox sound in this is just out the top drawer from Ultravox. Change, very solid. Rise is a bit naff. Remembering it's weak as they like, it's a bit of a feel of that. Hello, this is really good. This again goes straight back to them early days with Midge. One is a bit dirgy, it just doesn't do nothing for me. Lie is again, it's got that classic sound, that Billy Currie keyboard sounds run through this, and it just brings back lots of good memories. Satellite, this is another great track. Again, I was so surprised about this album. And then the last one, Contract, is a load of old rubbish. For a comeback album, you know, when you've had the success these have, and they're never going to be, you're never going to get that same feeling again. But on the whole, I quite like this album. It's not their best, of course, but it's still a good album. But I'm going to give it a ranking of 5.5 out of 10 on the RTO's ranking. Just because I just like it. It's a really good album. Okay, coming in at number 7. This is their second album, and I didn't put what year it come out. Oh dear. Let's have a quick look. Can't even find that. Hold on. So ill prepared today. But then again, I have got a lot. We have got, while I'm finding this come out, we have got the poll results today. Ooh, here we go. Just talk amongst yourselves while I try and get my act together. Here we go. Dee dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee da. Yes, Ian. Let's find it. There we go. And the year it came out is 1977. 1977. God, yeah. It's a good album though. It's very post-punk. You've got Warren Cann on drums, Chris Cross on the bass, Billy Currie on the keyboards, John Fox on the guitar, and Steve Shears on the guitar. Okay, first track. Rock. Great punky song, because this is a post-punk sound. Nice keyboards and Billy on it, really good. If you like your punk, you're gonna like this. The Frozen Ones, another solid track. Superb track. Fear in the Western World. Bit repetitive this is, and it's got the worst guitar solo I've ever heard in days. Distant Smile. Now this track is a mixture of that post-punk sound and the sound of the future of Ultravox. Really good track. Fantastic keyboards from Billy Currie. And John Fox's vocals are absolutely brilliant. The Man Who Dies Every Day. Very solid track. That punky feel. Artificial Life is just an awful noise. Probably one of the worst tracks I've heard by Ultravox. Then we get While I'm Still Alive. It's an okay track. Then Hiroshima Mon Amour. Again, it's got that hints of the future of Ultravox. It's just a shame that John Fox didn't hang about, because he's a very underrated musician. But for a punky sort of crossover, I give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Really good. Okay then, coming in at number 6 is the debut album. This also came out in 1977. It's the same lineup of Warren Cann, Chris Cross, Billy Currie, John Fox and Stevie Shears. This is quite punky, but it's a great album. So if you've never listened to the 3 albums that John Fox do, go and check them out if you're into your punk, like The Clash and that sort of thing, because it's very good. This album was produced by Steve Lillywhite and Brian Eno as well, so it is a really good album. First track, Saturday Night in the City of the Dead. Great rocker this is. Great harmonica from John Fox. Terrific stuff. At Rainbow's End, in brackets, for all the tax exiles on Main Street. Must have a meaning for somebody. Great rock track. I really like that track. Slip Away, solid punk track. Great stuff. I Want to Be a Machine. I love this. Probably the best track on the album. It's got some great guitar work. It's got Billy Currie on the violin. He's superb. He's a great violinist. Wide Boys, another rocker, really goes hard and heavy, and a great vocal from John Fox. Dangerous Rhythm, It's alright, it's not the best track. Lonely Hunter. God, this has got a hell of a bass line. Really great bass from Criss Cross. Love that track. It's a bit funky as well. Then we get The Wild, The Beautiful and The Damned. Another great piece of violin from Billy Currie. He does a great solo on it on the violin. Terrific. And then we end up with My Sex, which is just a load of old crap. For a debut album and for a post-punk album, it's terrific. I'll give it an RTO ranking of 6.5. Very good debut album. Okay then, moving on, we're now coming into the classic years. So coming in at number 5 is Lament, the 7th studio album. And this has got obviously the classic lineup of Midge, Billy Currie, Warren Cann and Criss Cross. Released in April 1984. First track on the album is White China. Now, this has never ever been one of my favourite tracks. I just don't like it. You can't like them all, and unfortunately White China is one of them. Then we get One Small Day. This is a classic song. I do like that song. Really good song. And then we get one of my favourite songs from Ultravox, Dancing with My Tears in My Eyes. This is a classic song, and it's quite, if you remember the video to this, is quite moving. It was the mood of the time back in the 80s about the Holocaust, the bomb and all that sort of thing. Really, really good. Then we get Lament's title track, solid track. I like the sound of this. I like the Billy Currie's keyboards, and that is terrific. Then we get a thing called Man of Two Worlds. It's got some Gaelic vocals by Mae McKenna. It's okay. I wouldn't go over the moon on it. Then we get an instrumental called Heart of the Country. I do like Ultravox instrumentals. Really, really good track. It's got nice guitar, nice keyboards. Billy Currie is a terrific keyboard player. Then we get When the Time Comes, another solid track. It's not the best one on the album, but it's still listenable. And the last track on the album, A Friend I Call Desire. Oh, this is a great track. Midge's guitars on that is terrific. Really, really good song. Again, the album is absolutely brilliant. Okay, I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10 on the RTO ranking. It's only at number 5 because I prefer that the other albums are good. I mean, it's not like the classic lineup of Ultravox. I really like. I don't think they did make a bad album, but with when you look at it critically, you just have to go with what tracks you think are the best and which are the weak. And that's the only way you can do it. Okay then, coming in at number 4 is their third album, last one that featured John Fox. Got a different guitar player on here, Robin Simon, but you've got Warren Cann, Criss Cross and Billy Currie, and the album is Systems of Romance. This is the best album from the John Fox era. It is fantastic. It is actually the album where you can see the sound is changing. Well, I think that's one of the reasons, I'm not going to quote this, but I think this is one of the reasons John Fox left. I don't think he liked the way that the rest of the band wanted to go. First track, Slow Motion. It's got bits of post-punk, but it's got that sound that you was going to get from a future Ultravox. Really good song. I love that one to bits. I Can't Stay Long. Again, we're going more away from the punk sound into a more new wave sort of sound. Really good song. Someone Else's Clothes. This has gone back. This is a bit more punky. Still a solid track. Blue Light, solid track. Nice guitar solo. Really, really good. Some of them is another punky song, but it's great. Quiet Man. I would say this is the definitive song that changed Ultravox from being a post-punk band to a new wave band. It is a fantastic track, and if you're going to, this is one to listen to. It is really, really good. In fact, I'll put that in the playlist. Instead of putting one of the hits in, I'll put that one in, because I do like that track. Dislocation is the next track. This is weird as you like. This is John Fox at his weirdest, but it's great. I like, you know me, I love a weird track, and that's up there with the weirdest tracks in the world. Maximum Acceleration, another of the crossover tracks. When You Walk Through Me, it's a bit of that, both punk, new wave, really good track. And the last track, Just for the Moment, it's the worst track on the album, and I've got no time for it whatsoever. I get this, I'd say, was that album, but the definitive album that changed what the way that Ultravox was going. And I give it an RTO ranking of 7.5 or 7.5, because it is a really good album, and it's, as I said, it's my favourite from the John Fox days. Okay, moving into the top three. Number 3 is the 6th album. Came out in 1982. It's Quartet. Solid album this is. It's got some of the classic songs on it. This is where they were really at their height. Fantastic album this is. Starts off with the classic Reap the Wild Wind. I don't have to say too much about it because everybody knows it. It's a great track, great vocal from Midge. Billy Currie is on fire. Really good track. Serenade, solid track. Love this track. It's just, it does what it says on the tin basically. Ultravox, Serenade sums it up. Then we got one of my favourite tracks by the band of ever, Mine for Life. The guitar in this is brilliant. This is one of them tracks that sounds even better live. And if you've got Monument, the little EP, it's the best version of that on that. Then we get the classic Hymn, another classics, another solid track. Firm favourite by people. I love that track as well. Visions in Blue, another super track. I look how that builds up, and then it's a really great track. When the Scream Subsides, this is straight back to post-punk days. It's nice to see a bit of post-punk back on there. Really good track. Then we Came to Dance. I've never liked this song. It just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't go anywhere. I don't know, it's just boring. Then we get Cut and Run, good solid track, and we end up with the song We Go. It's not too bad. I really do like that track. Again, solid album. Apart from a couple of bits, it's really good, and I give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 2. 5th album, released in 1981, Rage in Eden. Again, this has got some solid tracks on it, classics. Opens up with my second favourite track ever by Ultravox, the voice. I just love the keyboards in this, and I love the live version of this. Again, the most definitive version is the version of Monument. The drums at the end, where you've got all of them playing drums, is absolutely brilliant. Check the video out on YouTube, and again, I'll put this in the playlist as well. If I can find the live version for Monument, even if the video itself is a bit blurry from them days, I'm going to put it in because it's just worth it for that drum bit at the end. We Stand Alone. Great guitar in this. Midge Ure is a great guitar player. Solid As You Like. Raging Eden, the title track. Another great track. I remember Death in the Afternoon. Love this. The piano is unbelievable, and then it goes into a superb guitar solo. I'd say one of Midge Ure's best. Terrific. Then we get the classic Thin Wall. This album's just full of classic songs. Stranger Within, really great solid track. Nice keyboards. And that slips nicely into a little bit called The Ascent. It's sort of a carry on from Accent of Youth. And then it ends up with the worst track on the album, Your Name Has Slipped My Mind Again. Yeah, it slipped to mind again. It's a terrible ending to an album. If it weren't for that track, this would get a higher ranking. It wouldn't be number one, but you'd get a higher ranking. So it gets an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, number one for me. This was the first Ultravox album I brought. It contains some of my favourite Ultravox tracks of all time. It's the fourth album, released in July of 1980, and it's the classic Vienna. This album is one of my favourite non-rock albums ever. That's how good it is. I mean, I don't just like my rock music, as I think you've gathered by watching some of my videos, but this is definitely my favourite, and it's one of my favourite albums from the 80s. Terrific album. There's not a bad track on this one. It opens up with the masterpiece that's Astrodine. I've loved this from the moment I heard it, and I love the swirling keyboards and the live version of this, and this was on the Return to Eden. That version is sublime. I love it. Next track, New Europeans. This is a classic track. It's very much in that post-punk song. One of them, you know, they're still sort of lingering because this was the first album that Midge did with them. So you've still got little bits of the John Fox era. This is one of them tracks. Superb song. Private Lives, again, it's got a little bit of post-punk, a bit new wave, really solid track. Then we get another classic song, Passing Strangers. I just love the guitar in this. Nice riff. And then from then you go into another classic, Sleepwalk. Great riff, keyboard and guitar solos on this are just out of this world. Then we get the eerie Mr. X, terrific song. Western Promise, brilliant song. It's got that punky bit and it's got the new wave. Then the next song, this is my favourite non-rock song ever. if I was to do an alternative top 10, this would be number 1. And it's the classic title track, Vienna. I love this. I love the keyboards, I love the violin solo. I just like the beginning with that, even with the drum machine, it's eerie. And I'll remember the video, and I'll love the video, except Midge's little pencil moustache, which was quite funny. And the album ends up again with another classic, All Stood Still. Brilliant, great keyboard and guitar, superb. This is a truly fantastic album, and it belongs in that classic. It's a classic, so it gets an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, before we finish, I need to mention a single that was never on an album. It was their last top. It was their 13th top 30 single, and it was their last major hit, Love's Great Adventure. I just love the keyboards in this. I like how it starts. It's just very quirky in start. They say it was more pop orientated, but there's just something about that song. It's absolutely terrific. Okay, well, so that's a different different from the usual head banging stuff that we rank. Go and check out some of their early stuff. I do recommend it if you like punk. So, got one more to do today. Classic album. And then don't forget tonight, guys, 8 PM, the result of the poll and some exciting news. For RTO, we've got some fantastic news to tell you. So, see you at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, that's streaming. It's 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, all will be revealed. So take care for now.